refer to him in the future as Duke Sharma.
Alrighty, let's get started here. So welcome everybody to the April 9th Ortelius Outreach. Let me share my
Pretty sure
screen.
it's the architecture meeting, by the way.
Oh, that's what I meant, architecture.
One of those things.
Yeah. So I did some work on the repos based on our outreach meeting. So I did put the Ortelius main repo back. So we have all of our stars are there. We have 384 stars. Um, so all that's preserved. I moved all the issues back. So you probably got a bunch of notifications about issues being transferred. So these are all the issues around, that we have around the blogathon and some other codings. Um, on the code level, what I did was I created a new tag to archive the old version, the version 10. So it still exists in the GitHub history, but that was the only way I could do it by keeping the stars. So the V12 here is, if I actually go to the code, um, all this code is actually the PDVD backend code. So this is where it has the getting started. All that stuff is in it. Um, so that is all in place. One of the things I'm thinking of doing, and this is just kind of setting up for the OpenSSF, I think I'm going to have to prefix all of these with, instead of PDVD, with Ortelius. Um, so we have everything consistent out there. So that's going to be, I probably will do that next week because I'm going to break a bunch of stuff when I go and rename the repos, especially on the chart side. The Helm charts and stuff like that are getting deployed because they have like the directory name and stuff like that in there. So it'll take a little bit of work, but I think that's going to be my thought is to just rename the prefix. Anybody have any thoughts on that or any other ideas on what we could do? All right. So
So you're talking about the prefixes if there's a better way to define them?
yeah, because I know the OpenSSF is not going to be ready for us because we have what is it, 20, we'll have about 18 repos that we currently use to put together
Yeah,
everything.
and it doesn't, I was looking closer at that. It doesn't look like we're required to move over to them. We can use their repos if we want to. And then they
Oh,
provide some additional management around them.
okay. Yeah, because we already have like the Linux Foundation is one of the admins on our repos and stuff like that. So that's already in place. But just to be consistent, the PDVD, as post-deployment vulnerability detection, it was just a placeholder I put in play. I used just to separate things out from the other things. But now that we kind of archive the old version, we have the new version. I think it's a good opportunity before we get too far along to get a good naming in place. So that's where I'm kind of thinking on that front.
Uh, so it's a hard question because I don't know, because once we have these names, we're kind of stuck with them.
Yeah, kind of. It's just the repo name, so it's more
Do we
for
need to have the PDVD?
no, we could drop that.
I think that makes more sense.
Okay, because everything's still going to be under the Ortelius org.
Yeah, so it'd be Ortelius, and then the next one would say rail scanner job and OSV dev job in front end.
Yep.
That feels like it makes more sense to me. How about everybody else?
I'm a big fan of meaningful names if you can get them, and I don't think PDVD adds much to the meaning of the name, but something like front end is fairly clear.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great suggestion that will just drop the prefix, especially now that we've the repos are all cleaned up and stuff like that. It'll be easier to manage.
Now, if there is a reason to put a prefix like that, let's say we wanted to describe what the thing was, it feels like a microservice. We might want to add a prefix, but I don't necessarily think it's necessary.
Well, I did that the
On the end,
on the end. So
yeah,
these are Kubernetes jobs.
right,
These two here. So
right.
that I put it kind of at the end. So it was a no. I could move the job to the front.
No, no, I think, well, when you do that, if I don't know how easy it is to search, but you could search on job first.
Yeah, when you do a search, you could just say like OSV, and it'll pick up no matter where it is in the.
Okay, so then I would say leave it the function at the end and the name at the beginning.
Okay.
Because that's how we would talk about it, right? We would say the deployment GKE or
Yeah, this
the
is the rel
rail
scanner
scanner
job.
job. Yeah, exactly. So it feels like it's a more meaningful name.
Yep. Other things I did was so I reorganized.
Before we leave that too far, I do
Yep.
want to point out that when Nate Nate Fisherman is who manages the Deploy Hub website and does all of our SEO. Somehow he picked up on PDVD and found the Ortelius repo. I don't know if PDVD is because it's post-deployment vulnerability detection is what it stands for, if it's actually a term that people are using, or if he was just looking for it because, oh, look at portable DVD players. So we probably
Yeah.
want to get rid of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we want to
we
get rid
go
of
we go
that.
way back in time. Yeah, Tony remembers these.
I remember
Okay,
the
so
Walkman.
okay, so yes, I would say yes, let's dump it.
Okay.
And and now I think I've thought it through enough.
Okay.
That is, unless they come out with a portable DVD player with an alien logo.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm sure we can get one made with the alien logo. Uh,
Give it to the most valuable contributor.
right. The only thing is they'll never have any DVDs to play. So I also went through and updated all the docs. One of the things I did was if we go into the content guides. So we have the contributor guide, which has all of our blogs and stuff like that. I'm sorry. The contributor guide, I gotta remember. Oh, it's like how to contribute, set up your development environment, how to do pull requests. It's more of like how to interact with the community. That I just cleaned up. Some of it was outdated. Um, before like front end development, you had to use Eclipse. Now I put in there about Visual Studio. So that's been cleaned up. And on the user guide side, um, what I did was I'm actually pulling these files from the other repos. So the deployment, the GK audit logging is going to get pulled from that repo. And the way that's done is by just a simple shell script. Uh, that is where to go. Here it is, prepare docs. That's part of a GitHub action. So the nice thing is, if you make any changes like to the back end, or one of these, you go update the README, it'll automatically go ahead and update the docs for us. So I kind of distributed the docs to be in the place where they actually live, the functionality, and then it just gets pulled together into the docs website as part of the build process. And then I cleaned up uh, the main website. I got rid of all the broken links except for ones that Sasha needs to work on around that. I believe it's the Gimlet and the Raspberry Pi pieces. Whenever you get to it, not a hurry, a big hurry on that front. But the website's looking pretty good. So if we go over to, oh, and on the blog side, I did go and archive, like we talked about, posts from anything before, I think, 2024. So I cleaned up a bunch of the old stuff that was out there. So we have all the new stuff is in the blogs right now. The documentation, like I said, pulls over to uh, that docs repo that pulls it all together. And here's all of our documentation. Uh, just the main getting started. Basically, is a TLDR, getting started, and then at the bottom, it goes through what you're going to see and stuff like that. And at the very bottom, it talks about if you want to dive in further into the architecture, on-premise installation, just implementation guide, um, other things like that, how the vulnerability database sync works, just to give us more in-depth. And it's broken apart a little more better organized than the old documentation. And it has, examples and stuff like that that we didn't have before.
I suppose that we should probably go through it and see how accurate it is since it was generated, right?
I would go through and read all of this. So I read all these.
Okay,
So
so you're pretty comfortable with it then. And
yeah,
does it do a good job on to getting started to really to help you get set up?
yep.
Okay.
So basically, the sign up page,
I noticed you
and
have
then
PDV. Wait, go back up. You've got PDVD in there.
yes, that's why when I go and
Yeah.
change the name, it's a sprawling change, but it'll get fixed.
Okay.
Um, so the too long don't read, basically go to the hosted version, sign up, and then connect your repos and verify your data. And it talks about why you're not seeing anything, that type of stuff. Hence, for getting your best results, what the dashboard means, and how the numbers are calculated. That type of stuff is all there. If you want to add other members to your team, how you go about doing that. This part I have to expand upon, um, but it's a good starting point, put it that way.
Cool.
And then there are some issues. If I could get back to it, like there's one I saw when I was transferring them, like a blog video on the sign up. I know it's out here. MCP. I could have sworn there was a sign up like this one, how to connect your GitHub organization. One of the things I did find that I want to give a try is it's called Video Mule. I will drop this in the chat. Basically, I, it, it'll you do like a screen recording, and it will actually generate a full uh, cleaned up um, tutorial or like a demo with an AI voice and stuff like that. You get to pick from like one of 20 different AI voices to go through and work with the video that you recorded. And you don't even have to give it a transcript. You don't have to like give it a script ahead of time. You just give it a high level uh, goal that it's going to follow, and it'll interpret it. So check it out. It's pretty cool. There was like a, if I can find it, there was a, could have been this one. This out on YouTube. Yeah. So if you watch this guy on how to make the tutorial right on the video mule, it's pretty impressive what it does. And I think I want to give it a try for um, a couple of the issues out there. So if I can find back to my issues. So this one would be like a longer end-to-end video, but we'll need videos for and corresponding blogs. Here's the sign up process, how to sign up, how to connect to your GitHub. And it looks like their free account will let you get going for, um, producing like a 5 minute, under a 5 minute video. So something like the sign up process should be like a 30-second to a minute video, would be my guess, along those lines. Uh, and same thing with like connecting the repos. Once that's done, once we get the videos out there, then we can go back and update the documentation to point to those videos so people have uh, something to follow video wise instead of having to read the steps. So that's kind of what I've been up to and the changes that have been happening. Let me stop sharing. And I'm going to pass it over to Utkarsh. Utkarsh, you've been busy. What have you been up to?
Yeah. Um, did you got some chance to look at the issues that I've created? Let me share my screen, sir.
I've been browsing over them, but I have not looked into in depth at them.
Okay.
Um, so one of the things I did notice, like on the Golang dependency issues,
Mhm.
it's going through and changing the Go summary file, and I think is that the right one? I can't remember if it's the summary or the mod. I think we just need to have it focus on the higher level one and not have to go
Mm,
into the summary.
okay.
I think it'll be
Uh,
easier. Yeah, the mod is the shorter one. And
mm,
then a Go mod tidy would generate the summary correctly. Yeah.
okay. Do you remember the repository?
If you I think it was the PDVD backend.
No, go back
Oh,
end.
that's going to be Ortelius now. So yeah, just go to Ortelius.
Okay.
And I don't know if the pull request is out there because I'm moving things around. Uh, yeah, so it may have, so go to
No, I guess.
yeah, go to, let me give you another repo to look at. Go back to Ortelius and then do the rel. Try the rel scanner job and see if that's one of them that you did.
It has created one issue,
Yeah,
and it's saying there is some um, build failure, which is correct.
right.
I ran this in my local, and it was the same. Also for the back end, what I remember is it did compare with Renovate, and I'm not able to find the issues. But yeah, the changes were same as they should have been done by Renovate.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
on this one, just go back real quick.
Mhm.
So on this one, because not all of these are in the Go .mod, some are going to be in the Go summary. Is your program updating both of them, or
No, no, yeah. So, yeah, let me give you some insight here. So, what is
yeah,
happening here is whenever I'm creating an issue, so I'm not like classifying whatever packages are transitive or direct. So there is a concept of direct and indirect in Golang, right?
right,
So basically, indirect ones are those which are transitively coming into picture.
yeah,
Um, but for issues, I thought like more visibility is better. So that is why I haven't like classified here. But for the same Golang, if you see the, any working PR, let me check. This is the Golang, but yeah, this is another.
that should be Golang. Yeah,
But, this is way too old. Last week. Let me check this.
yeah. I thought it was that one.
Okay. Yeah, so I think these probably should like coming from like they should be direct. All these should be direct. But why there are so many?
Yeah, that's what I was confused about when I was looking at it. It would be easier to review if it was the direct ones.
Okay, what I'll do, I'll add an extra column saying that which of these are direct.
Okay.
So that will be more. Oh yeah.
You could even
But
add the file that they're coming from if you know that if they're coming from go.mod or go.sum.
okay, okay.
And then I really liked the part where at the bottom where you had the CVEs associated with the yeah, your
Yeah.
security audit. That was very handy.
Yeah, and this is coming because this is something I added in my AIOps project. So what it is doing is it is intelligently identifying what all integrations that this particular repository has.
Hmm.
So it identified it has what you call renovate, and it has some security checking, CLI commands. So it tries to run both of those,
Okay,
and yeah, it tries to fetch whatever integration that are there as part of repository configured, and try to configure those and run those as well.
nice. And and is your MCP running Renovate then? Or is the LLM?
No, it's MCP. So
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
yeah, uh, I have limited the use of LLMs, and that's for like our own good.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I saw
um,
your update on Discord this morning. I just haven't had a chance to review it.
yeah, let me go back here. The good part is we have now flexibility to use like any AI provider. And right now I'm using one of the Llama models, Llama 3.3, 70 billion parameter instruct model from Hugging Face. So we can use any model whatsoever. We can even tune our model if in case we see any kind of hallucinations. But yeah, instruct models are we haven't seen any sort of discrepancy using those. Let me
And
say some.
and how do you connect to that that Hugging Face model? Are you is it a remote API call or are you running
Yeah.
that model locally?
Yeah, it's a remote inferencing. So in last call, I think I said there will be some, inference time for a startup, but we don't really care like if we get the response in a real time, right?
Right.
It will take to give response in 2.5 seconds maybe for a starting one, and then it will try to give responses very fast, and then after we stop using that inference endpoint, it will automatically um, get deleted. Yep. Configuring this is very easy if you want to use, like if you want to configure this for any other programming languages, we just have to add one py file here. And this has a couple of information like what are, build commands, all those things. And this is where it becomes more deterministic and AI don't have to identify a lot of things.
Right. You're
Uh,
giving it a bunch of hints to the model.
Yes. There is also another route. Let's say if the ecosystem is not defined, there is a fallback for AI. And where is the pipeline? Here is the pipeline. And this is the graph. So this is basically like coded on LangGraph. So there we can define any sort of execution, and we can also define what conditions to be met for this execution to happen. So this way it becomes more intelligent, but
Right.
also controlled. So not every time we need to have a LLM analyze something. So I have all those pre-checks added, and it's not very like straightforward. I've added a lot of time to refine this, and happy to say it's working really great.
Yeah, that's a great solution to minimize the interaction with the LLM.
Mm,
Does the does the land graph interact with the MCP, or is that outside, or is that happening outside?
yeah, they interact with the MCPs. So as of there are just two MCPs being used, or I should say just one. So which is a GitHub MCP, and another MCP which would be required will be Ortelius MCP to fetch the SBOM which are more secure.
Yep.
So we can directly leverage those versions and try to see if there are any build issues or something like that. Um, yeah, it's a plug and play. If you want to add any other MCPs, we just have to add something like this. Or we can even add a configuration file. But if you add a configuration file, what it will do, it will try to inject all the tools that are available for MCP. So yeah, if you want to do a fine-grained approach, then you can just define the wrapper functions. So that will be just reduce like number of tools that we're
Right.
injecting. Yeah, it's simple. We have ecosystem, pipeline, and integration. That's most of the code.
Yeah, it looks great. I gotta play with it.
Yeah, it's been running for a while. Action. Yes, so far no errors after 4th of April. So yeah, if you get some time, do update the, there is a GitHub, what do you call, personal access token that I've added. So if you can update that to the Ortelius one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just a Git a GitHub environment variable, right?
Environment. Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the new release out there, it should be pretty easy to generate an MCP, an Ortelius MCP, to do that. I'll have to think about what the input parameter would be for that. I'm guessing the repo probably. Because we have the repo plus the endpoint where it's running. So I'll have to see how we can filter that because we really want to focus on what's running in production and not necessarily everything all the time. So I'll think about that and see how we can add that filter.
Mhm.
I think the back end that the filtering capability is just getting um, the right information to the query for that.
Mhm.
How do you tell which repos to run on?
Yeah, it's configurable. Let me show this to you.
So there's a config file.
Actually, there is this GitHub action code. I forgot the name of the attribute. Let me just check the workflow. It's repo prefix. Yeah, so I'm using repo prefix. Probably have to use something else, but yeah, if there is no prefix, then it will run on all the repositories. And we
Okay.
can also define owners.
Okay. Because one of the things like that the rel scanner job uses is I've created a GitHub app, and given the right keys, you can make calls to get a list of repositories dynamically.
Okay.
So like when somebody onboarded something, they can say, I want you to scan this repo, and that list is available through that GitHub app, basically private key.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I was uh, like thinking, we we are interested in post-deployment vulnerabilities, right?
Yep.
So like inside the production, there might be possibility, they might be using a different, like they might have like a different dependencies. Is that possible? Um,
Yes. And so let's say they have released version 11 is running in production, and the developers are already working on version 14. So the main branch will have version 14 in it, but where we need to fix it is for version 11. Um, we'll have to work our way backwards to the commit for version 11 and basically check out that commit for version 11 and work on that and probably do it on a branch, make that change on a branch so they can review it.
okay, okay.
So there is some that's why I got to figure out when the inputs and outputs that the Ortelius MCP need so you can we can get to the right part of the code base to make the change.
Yeah, yeah. On that, on that question, I already added support for like code mitigation, and if you see like this will answer something like this. It's just like doing analysis. It's not going ahead and making these changes,
Hmm.
but it has the capability as of now to infer the code base wherever like changes are required.
Yep.
Um, as of now, I'm just adding these to PRs if I'm making changes. But
Right.
yeah, so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things are added.
Nice. And like I said, the next step will be uh, getting the Ortelius information to you. And what we may end up doing is just initially just stubbing out a JSON file um, that we can manually set up for you to have the right information to get to the right repo, the right commit, and be able to make the change there.
Mhm. Okay. Um, can you also clean up the there are a lot of issues we need to close and
Uh,
create a new one.
yeah, I didn't see that many out there. There's one. There's the one PDVD. That one should be. That one's all clean.
Shall I close this one?
Yeah, if you want to, I was noticing that this morning. There's a bunch of them that need to be combined or closed, or there's a couple. I think some of
Yeah.
them are pretty generic, so we can close them and make the changes and just point to where things have moved to. So if you want to go through those issues and review them and close the ones we don't need anymore, that would be great.
Okay. Cool.
And then can I go ahead and close some of the older issues that your program has created, just so we don't get confused?
Yeah, I've cleaned up all those issues. So
Okay.
right now, as per the process, it will just try to create one issue, and even though it runs incrementally, it will try to update the existing issue if there is. So in
Yeah.
the markdown file, I'm adding one marker. So I'm just taking a look at existing issues and then finding that marker that
Nice.
is existing.
Cool. No, excellent job, Utkarsh. Looking great. Anybody have anything else?
So the only question I have is now that we're getting a little closer, Steve, and it feels like to me that we're at a point that it's easier for people to do contributions. Are we at a point where we should put together a project plan and get some issues created?
I would say not quite yet. Let me do that cleanup of the repos, um, and all that renaming and stuff and make sure everything is consistent. I think the first place that we really need is those videos for the sign up and associating your GitHub repo to those will kind of
So what,
force.
what you want to create some issues out there then for that?
They're out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the reason I want to start there is it's going to be everybody kicking the tires to make sure it's working correctly
Yeah.
and to make sure that the onboarding process is simple. Because in my mind it is, but I've been working on this for months. So
Yeah.
my
Understood.
view of things is always skewed. So that's where I would say that we start before we get into everybody making coding changes, is that we go through and do some testing and kick the tires. And in that process, generating those videos and blogs and getting it documented would be very, very helpful. So that's where I'd like to start for now.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then once we're happy with all that, then we can get into breaking things out for people to actually dive in and start coding.
Makes sense.
All right.
For Blogathon, yeah, for Blogathon, I sent one write-up to Tracy and you.
I
So
missed that. I didn't see that. Did you send it in email?
yeah, on the email.
Did I see it? I don't think I did.
I don't think I did either. Can you resend it if it's not a problem?
Yes.
That would be great. And now keeping a heads up for it. Okay. Anybody else have anything that I may have missed?
No.
No.
All righty. So, if you are going to take a stab at the video generation, please assign the ticket to yourself so we don't get two people duplicating the work. Even though it wouldn't be a bad thing, we can compare whose AI can generate better videos than the other person. We can have an AI bake off on video generation. All righty. Thanks everybody for showing up today. We
Thank
will see
you.
you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.